All right, welcome back, guys. So today I'm going to do a little unboxing review. Not going to be opening up because it's already open, but and this is actually take two because I kind of dropped the camera filming the first take. Full disclosure. So anyway, yeah. So pick these up at there's actually a board games store near me, and they had these, and it was a pretty good bargain. So I picked them up. I know, which if you're used to buying Games Workshop, something being a bargain, but here the price is a little bit lower than in the U.S. So I didn't want to pass that up. Um, Got the Mark III Space Marines for Horus Heresy, obviously, and if you've watched the previous videos on the channel, you guys know I'm into Horus Heresy. And if you haven't, you can take a look at the channel page, and I've taken a look at my Heresy stuff. I do Alpha Legion, so I was hoping by now as well, this is kind of an announcement, to have my Saga from Gripping Beast stuff in. I ordered a Saracen Warband, and it still hasn't come in yet, and I ordered it from a city like not far from where I am now, so it was supposed to come in, but hasn't come in yet. Sent them an email, so hopefully that comes in soon, and I can start talking about that and showing that on the channel. But hobby-wise, I'm kind of at zero basically because I don't have any paints or tools, so I have to kind of buy everything new. So right now, all I've got is this little hobby knife and it's the extra blades. Yeah, gonna have to pick up some paints, but probably just gonna get Army Painter paints because those are pretty inexpensive and pretty easy to source here. All right, so I'll just take a look at the sprues. So you've got plenty of options. So this is actually this kit is like 10 times better than any of the current GW stuff. I mean, because you don't have as many of those weird like angles and like forced poses because they have to make everything mono pose. Um, and Yeah, so you get plenty of leg options. I really like the style of armor. It's very cool. Nice kind of blend of sci-fi and medieval, which is why I like Horus Heresy. It's a lot more grounded than the 40K era stuff. Yeah, so nothing. You get some holstered pistols. Get some plenty of arm options. Yeah, so not too much to say there. You get these are the chest plates. So nice heavy armor. And just as a note, if you maybe know 40K and you don't know that much about Heresy, so in Horus Heresy, you you can only regular tactical squads that count as troops have to be all bolt guns. There's no special weapons. But what you can do, and if you watch my videos of my army, you can have veteran squads that have special weapons, but you can only count them as troops for doing your force organization if you take a certain right of war, and without getting into the weeds of like trying to talk about like all the rules of heresy in this video, it just means it's like an ability your army has. So if you take that right of war, you can't pick another one. So anyway, that's kind of a side note, but yeah, so you get plenty of bolt guns, plenty of helmets, and I clipped out one of these in the first take to show. I really like these helmets. Pretty cool. And you do get, if you did want to turn them into veterans or just wanted the extra special weapons, you do get a decent assortment of special weapons. So I like the look of these Heresy era plasma and guns. really also drives home like the idea in the books that like during the earlier Great Crusade and like early heresy period, the Imperium was like on the up and up, and the technology was actually better than it is in 40K in a lot of ways, or at least that's how they wrote the story until recently. Anyway, so yeah, I think I like this plasma pistol. I think I'll give the sergeant that. And I like this pattern of bolt gun, bolt pistol, pretty neat. And they give you plenty of chain swords because I think they show it on the box. Yeah, they keep the chain sword like as a secondary weapon, basically. So I'll probably do that. That's a nice touch. And you also get a heavy bolter. You get backpacks, thunderhammer, I'm assuming. Get power fist, lightning claw. And lightning claws are actually pretty good in Heresy, at least the one game I played. And then you get a couple different options for the sergeant's head. So no armor. Of course, being Alpha Legion, I'll probably go with a helmet for my sergeant. But and then you get the crown thing. Whatever this thing is called. Name escapes me. But yeah, that accessory. You get a little banner. Again, probably not going to use that because I'm doing Alpha Legion, but you know, if you're doing one of the other legions, nice touch. And then you also get some transfers, which I'm not going to be using most of these, but it is a nice little thing that they throw in there. I think both of these sheets are from one of the old Horus Heresy box games that came out with several years ago, like Calth and Prospero. But if you need them, you get Space Wolves, Ultramarines, Thousand Suns, and you get some numbers too. So I might use these actually. And are these Space Wolves? Yeah, those are wolf markings. And then you just get some generic markers, I guess. All right, well, yeah, nice little addition, and then there's the instructions. And I figured since we're talking about heresy anyway, I'll just flip through the red book a little bit just to show you guys, and the bases, of course, just to show you guys some of the stuff in Horus Heresy. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and put that up. I can't remember if I've shown this on the channel before. I think I may have, so I apologize if this is kind of repeating, but I figured I'll go ahead and show this real quick. I think compared to current 40K Horus Heresy, it's definitely a lot more like a war game. And this book is not the rule book. You can actually find those on archive.org. And also the site Scribd also has copies of the rules, and it's all posted for free. So you know, as long as, and it's one of those things, as long as it's for personal use and you're not selling it, you know, it's not a big deal. So it's not like anyway. But I wanted to just buy this book because it's a nice looking book, and it's nice to have it is good to have the physical copy, at least for me. It's hard for me to read from PDFs and stuff and really retain the information. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and zoom in on the table of contents just to give you guys an idea of what's in there. So you've got, let's see if I can drop the camera again. Yeah, so okay, you've got, and I should say, so this is generic for any Space Marine Legion, and then the specific, they're called the Black Books, has the Legion specific units. But then if you don't want to buy the Black Books, because there's a ton of them and they're really expensive, you can get, there's yet another red book that has the Legion specific units for, I think, pretty much all of them. So those are your HQ options. You've got, those are all your elites, your troops, dedicated transports, attack, heavy support, and then Lords of War, which is basically like super heavies and stuff. And there's a couple of fortifications. Yeah, and this is the Rights of War thing I mentioned earlier, so it's got some of them in this book. It's got some of the missions, special rules, war gear, and weapons summary. But the weapons summary, I should say, it's not every single weapon. So, like the bolt guns and like some of the generic 40k weapons, I don't think are in here. It's mostly the Heresy specific weapons. So just flip through this. Let me zoom out again. So, bunch of rules, but it's mostly you got an allies matrix. It's kind of, compared to some of the 40k, like the more recent 40k stuff, it's definitely a lot more like rules than just like an art book, which kind of nice. I kind of like that. So that's the Praetor. That's one of your HQs. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to zoom a little bit better. Let me see. Yeah, I can't really get a good angle. I apologize. Centurion. Yeah, but as you can see, it's definitely pretty much 90% rules. I mean, you do get some artwork, which is nice, but, you know, it's mostly a lot of crunch. And I will say, this is something I've noticed in my own gaming group, that people that, like, are interested in Horus Heresy, oh, it's too expensive. It's really not compared to 40k. You're probably going to be paying about the same. And the other thing with Heresy is you can use like a ton of the 40k kits. You don't have to go out and buy like all resin Forge World stuff. You know, you can just go and get the 40k stuff and then just paint it to look like Heresy. And yeah, so it's like all the unit listings, and it uses the, if you're not familiar with the, I'll just zoom in on this real quick. If you're not familiar with the Horus Heresy rules, it uses the older 40k rules basically. So you've got no, like, it's, you have to use a chart, you know, which is apparently too hard for some people. You get your strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, attacks, leadership, and save. And then you get all these different, and then these are all your upgrades. And yeah, so not really that complicated. There's just a lot of options for these units, typically. So let me see if there's anything else of note. Yeah, so I think these are, you get your dreadnoughts, the Dorado. This one is the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Salt Claw. Yeah, and then the Heresy does have a lot of these cool battle tanks. So you've got this is the Venerator, got the Sicaran, whatever. Yeah. And then in the back, let me see if we've got, that's a pretty cool picture. Yeah, so this does have the generic, I believe these are the generic rights of war in the back. So, Yeah, so these are the ones you can use with any legion. And then you've got, it does have the little missions appendix in here, which I like that. That's nice. And I think, does it have the, I don't think it has like the tables for shooting. This is the weapons, the Heresy weapons. This is the rest of it's just advertising. Anyway, yeah, so that's the Age of Darkness Army List book. Like I said, if you don't want to go and shell out money for the hardback books, they are on Scribd and they are on Archive. So you know, you can go and look up, you know, if you're interested in starting Heresy, or you just, you know, want to flip through them, you can take a look at them there. Scribd, you do need an account and a subscription, but I would recommend getting a Scribd subscription. It's really really worth it. Tons of military history books on there, tons of Osprey books on there, and you know, if you like to, I'm not a huge phone reader, but it is nice to be able to, especially for gaming, be able to have, you know, that kind of reference stuff, because there was a lot of war game stuff on there as well. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Again, I hope I will be able to have some historical stuff for you guys soon, and I get those Gripping Beast miniatures, and we can take a look at those in the channel. And I hope everybody's doing well, and I will talk to you all in the next video.